Hey, what's up guys? Kevin Yates here, back with another video today. I want to talk to you about 5 listening skills in communicating with your spouse or your significant other. These are also five things that you can do, with your kids. If you're having any relationship challenges with your kids, communicating with your kids, friends, family members, coworkers, your boss, right? So it applies across the board in all relationships. Part of communicating, it's not about what you're saying. It's not about, what you're like communicating to somebody through like your words or your gestures or whatever, your body language. A lot of it is just about listening. And, that's a big thing because when, if we're not listening to what the other person's saying, they're not going to feel understood. Then they're not going to feel that they are important. They're not going to feel valued, right? And it just shuts down communication and starts to, blow relationships apart. So I'm going to talk about five really important listening skills. So, when you're communicating, right, a lot of that is just making sure that we're doing a good job of listening. So number 1 is presence. And, being present doesn't mean that you're just like physically there, right? Like, people are present all the time at home, but they're not really there. They're not present in their relationship. A lot of times they're sitting there, they are distant, they're disconnected, they're disengaged, they are isolated, they're, on their phones, they're checking email, they're checking Facebook, on their Instagram, they're, either on the phone, on a call, right, or, doing work on the computer, things like that, watching TV, right, isolating themselves and not really being present. So, being present when somebody's talking to you, being present is you're in the moment now with them. They're talking, you are there right now. You're not thinking about something else, what you're gonna say. You're not trying to overanalyze what they're saying, or you're not thinking about what you need to do later on, or what your plans are, things like that, right? It's really just being like in the moment, the present moment, right now as they're speaking. Okay, so number 2 is patience. And this is a tough one sometimes, because especially when there's when you're having a talk about something that is like a real serious issue. It's like a big kind of, hot button, and you can easily get triggered or get your buttons pushed or something like that. It is really tough to be patient. A lot of times what happens is that, we've got things on our mind. And so instead of listening to what the other person has to say, as soon as they start saying something, we're thinking about, oh my God, boom, it triggers something in us. And then we have to feel like we have to get our point across like right away. And what happens is a lot of time we're really not taking the time to be patient enough to hear them out, right? To listen to what they have to say. They might be saying something to make a point, but we jump on the first little bit that they say and we take it the wrong way, or we don't let them finish and get their point across, and really they could be meaning something completely different than what we think they're really trying to say, right? So it's really being patient and allowing them to finish what they're saying. And again, be present with them, listen to it, take it all in, allow them to finish before you reply back with what you want to say. So number 3 is confirm, right? And so basically what that means is that you don't want to assume. Like sometimes, I know I've been through this a lot, where you get in a conversation about something and you say something or they say something, and what they think they're saying up here isn't how it's coming out, right? It's not how it's coming across. So they might be meaning to say something a certain way, but then it comes out completely different. And then you can take it wrong, right? And, then resentments happen, people get angry, right? Arguments start to happen. That's how a lot of times, couples get in these arguments when they talk about issues, because they're not really understanding each other, or they're not communicating things in the way that they hope to, the way they intended. Words don't come out right, or, things happen like that. So really, with you want to confirm. It's just about like saying, okay, so what you're telling me is ... And you're really just like repeating back to them what you heard them say. And what that does is that it gives them a chance to hear what they said. And it gives them a chance to also know how you're understanding it, right? And that way you're making sure you're on the same page. And again, this goes a long way, because when you're doing that and they're hearing you repeat their words in the way that they said it, they feel like you're listening. They feel important. They feel understood. Okay, and then number 4 is to ask, right? And what I mean by ask is that sometimes, this happens a lot, where we think that we know what the other person wants or what they need from us, right? A lot of times somebody will tell you, and I've done this, where I've been told things that, and really it was just, somebody wanting me to listen to them. And instead what I did was I went and jumped right in and told them, this is what you need to do, right? This is how to fix it. And I'm given like instructions and answers, but they didn't want that, right? They didn't ask for it, and they really didn't want it. And when somebody just wants to be heard and you start jumping on them, and even if you mean well, it doesn't mean that you're intending anything bad. You're just trying to help, And this happens a lot of time, like with men, they do this to women in relationships, because as men, I think we're naturally wanting to be, the problem solvers, right? We, take care of our shit in the home, right? And, we're like the protectors and everything. And so, we tend to instruct and tell, this is what you need to do. This is how we fix it, things like that. And a lot of times, like, the women are like, they just want to vent. They don't want to be told all that stuff. They just want to know that someone to listen to them and to care about them. Because a lot of times, like, they might have issues where they're feeling like they're not even heard, they're not cared about. And, that's all they're looking for is somebody to kind of just, listen to them. So, and this could be anything. It doesn't have to be like, a man and a woman, but it's a good example of like what I'm trying to say, and the point that I'm trying to make with, making sure that you ask to gain clarity on what it is that they want from you. It's asking, like, how do you want me to help you? Do you want me to help you? Do you just want me to listen? Like, I'm here for you, but, I just want to know like what you want from me. Right. And so always asking about that, and you'd be surprised at how powerful just that little kind of, asking, how powerful that is in opening up communication. Even if you're just listening, that can help somebody feel important and feel like they're being heard and understood and valued and cared about. And that makes them want to talk more. And then finally is number 5 is eye contact. And, and it's a simple one, but a lot of times we're really not aware of, things like our eye contact, and so if you're talking with someone and like, say that you're telling somebody something really, really important to you, and they're like, looking all like over here and doing that, you're going to like feel like they don't even give a shit, right? Like they're not interested, and they really don't want to be having this conversation with you. And it makes you feel like, God, like they don't even give a shit, right? Like you're not important to them, and what you have to say doesn't even matter. So it's really important to focus on, making eye contact and letting the person know, that you're here with them. That's part of being present, right? Letting them know, I'm here with you. I'm here with you right now. I'm listening to you. I'm engaging with you. I hear what you have to say. It's important to me. I value that. I respect that, right? I want to hear that, right? So that eye contact is a huge, huge one. One of the most important things in communication, we have to remember, it's not just about what we're saying and what, we're trying to get across, but also making sure that we're taking the time to listen to what the other person has to say, right? So I hope that helps, and that's it for me today. In the meantime, if you have any questions, type them in, leave them in the comments below, and until next time, have faith, follow your heart, and trust yourself, and I'll talk to you soon.